How do you communicate like a lawyer? Well, that's what we're going to be talking about in this video. I've been an attorney for over 20 years, and before that 3 years of law school. So gonna have you come out of this video with some suggestions on how to communicate more effectively from what I've learned like a lawyer, and also through a recent course that I took. I took a landmark communications course, highly recommend it. We're gonna talk about that too, what I got from that, because let's face it, communication is in every moment of our lives. So if we can communicate better, we can have better lives, more joyful lives, and just make life a little bit more fun. In this video, I'm going to share 7 tips with you. And the first tip is something that you might be surprised about. This is not only from what I learned from being a lawyer, but also what I got in this landmark course that I recently took, where we specifically spent a weekend on communication, and most of the weekend was just on listening. Yes, my friends, listening is the most important part of communication. Because if you don't understand what the other person needs, what the other person is saying, then how can you communicate effectively with them? But let's take it one level deeper than that. What is truly listening? Well, truly listening is going into the conversation without having an agenda, having an open mind and open heart, and just going in with no thing. So if you go in with a clean slate, then you can truly hear what the other person is saying. The problem is we all go in with our own filters, and by going in with our filters, then we're coloring what we're hearing from the other person. And this is the 30-second summary of what I got out of that 2-weekend communication course. By truly letting go of your filter, then you can actually begin the next step of listening, which is actively listening. When you're actively listening, you want to give full attention to the person. And I know that's hard, because especially if in today's world, our minds are running in 5 different directions, and I know I'm guilty of this too. It's so easy to just be thinking of 5 other things when someone's talking to you. And this is something that requires an active effort, which is just actually truly listening to the person and not listening to like the noise that's in your head, and truly being present. That's what active listening is, just sharing your presence with another person. In my law practice, that's really a fundamental, important part of having a consultation. When I meet with the client, I like to truly listen to what is going on in their life instead of coming in with preconceived notions of what I think is going on. For instance, if a client has a specific concern about going back to their home country because of the country conditions, my goal is to listen to see what else is going on there as well. Is the country conditions the only issue, or are there other issues that are going on, such as emotional hardship? And by taking the time to listen to what my client is saying, I can hear the other components of what's going on in their life. And it's so amazing, by just letting go of your preconceived notions, how much more you're able to hear, how much more fun the conversation is, and how much more joy you're able to create. Which goes on to my second point, which is in having that conversation, you are actively listening and then building a rapport, which provides a safe space in that communication. So when you're building a rapport, that means that you're connecting with the other person and you're creating a positive and respectful environment. This can come from truly understanding or empathizing with what is going on. So when I hear a client's difficult situation, just truly trying to put myself in their shoes, which is a form of empathy, to get an understanding of what is going on in their life situation. Well, it's important to be clear and concise. As a lawyer, we want to use clear and concise language to ensure that our message can be understood. I think a lot of times people might try to use legalese or jargon, which is actually not effective. It's better to speak in very clear terms so the other person understands exactly what you're talking about. When you're talking, don't be afraid to be confident or assertive. That's another quality of legal communication. Of course, the best way to do that is to truly believe in what you're arguing about. So first of all, you have to have a confidence in what you are actually stating. And then when you have that confidence in asserting a legal argument, you back it up with evidence and reasoning to build your argument to achieve the favorable outcome you want to achieve. A large part of communicating as a lawyer is written communication. So this is applicable to you as well. First of all, when writing, you want to make sure you understand your audience. So for instance, if I'm, as an immigration lawyer, going to submit an application to USCIS, I understand that my audience is a USCIS officer, and I would submit my application that would not be too long, because I know that the officer doesn't have so much time to review the application. At the same time, it needs to be thorough enough and be persuasive enough to make the argument, and it needs to also have the appropriate documentation to back up what my assertions are. So this goes to the points of using evidence and reasoning to support arguments. And this could include citing cases, if you're actually a lawyer, statutes, other legal authorities. If you're not a lawyer, then you would, when writing, back your assertions, your reasoning with actual evidence. It's also important to have a cohesive organization and structure. So what lawyers do when preparing a legal brief, for instance, is they have the whole structure of legal brief very organized. As lawyers, we use headings, subheadings, and other formatting tools to make it easy for the reader to follow our arguments. By communicating as a lawyer, you can see that it can help you not only achieve your goals in life, but it can make you have a better life, a happier life, which you might have been surprised about, because as lawyers we get a bad rap sometimes. But if you communicate artfully, this could be a new way of thinking for you. I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Let me know if you like this video. I'll create more of them like this. And by watching this video, you're bettering yourself. By bettering yourself, you're bettering your family. And by bettering your family, you're bettering the world. Thank you. Bye for now.